Just give me a second, guys. Just while I sort this out. Where are we? Right, guys, good evening. I mean, good afternoon, rather. Yes, that is right. It is the friendly face of Eldar Sim, and it is the one and only Hoffers in the commentary box doing real life action from Lobby 2 Multiple Car Choice Championship. I believe they were at Suzaka as well as Toyko. Obviously, their coverage wasn't live and exclusive as it is on the Eldar Sim YouTube channel for Lobby 1. So I've decided today I will pick up the lovely task of doing the real life for Lobby 2. So hopefully you guys are going to grab a drink and enjoy the action. We'll go through who was on the grid at Suzaka, and obviously it was combined. The lobby had changed for round number 2 at Tokyo this Monday just gone. So I've decided, you know, to do a relive and give you guys a bit of a background about the multiple car choice championship. Obviously you do have 8 cars and obviously 8 weeks of racing, so you obviously have to choose between the Ferrari, the Honda, the Beetle, the McLaren, the Renault, the Lamborghini. I believe I might have missed one car out, but you know, out of the 8 cars you have to pick for the championship, you have to pick one each round. You can't use it more than once, and you have to use either the softs, mediums or hards for at least 6 laps in the race. Obviously, you know, it's an hour long race, it's a 10-minute qualification, and it is a fantastic championship. I obviously commentate on Lobby 1, give it live and exclusive action, but sadly Lobby 2 do not get commentary, so I thought I'd jump in, do relive and give you guys a very much hopefully interesting 2 races. So hopefully you guys can hear me, and hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. If you can't, let us know. I'm not going to be offended, but I've decided to take this up. I've got a free afternoon now, so I can do this, and hopefully you guys will enjoy exactly what's to come. So obviously, you know, 8 different weeks, 8 different cars. Some cars will suit circuits better, some cars may not. Over in Lobby 1, it had been a very interesting race at Suzaka. We had our first female race winner in Eldar Sim history, and you know, just recently on Monday at Tokyo we had Casper Brotner taking a astounding victory in Lobby 1. So yeah, the times do get combined. Whoever finishes bottom of tier 1 has to go into tier 2 for the following week, and whoever finishes the top 3 in tier 2, I believe they jump straight up to basically the top tier, or Lobby 1. And it has provided some great interesting races. From what I've heard though, just before I do the relive, there has been quite a few talking points, quite a few interests. You know, there's quite a lot of cars suiting certain bits and pieces around the certain circuits, and you know, it's going to be very interesting. I believe we're at Big Willow, we're at Willow Springs next Monday. That's going to be very interesting because that is a track you cannot make margin for error. It is going to be one of them. It will be where you, if you're not careful, you will be making basically sandcastles. So that's going to be good. I can't wait to see exactly what's going to happen. Hopefully I will be doing Lobby 2 relive again as of next week, so you'll be seeing exactly that as well. So we'll jump straight into the action at Suzaka. We'll go through the grid and then we will get into the hour-long race. It is going to be, it is an hour long. It feels like it may have been, you know, here at Suzuka, Lobby 1 seemed to be a very quick race, if I remember rightly. It started, and then by half an hour to go, it seemed to be very quick, and it seemed to be running down quite quick. But we'll see who's on the grid for, obviously no set liveries. You just pick the cars you want to race in, and then obviously there'll be a lot of interest. So there's a lot of different cars thereabouts, but as I say, we'll go through the grid very quickly. So then, on pole position, then in the 10-minute qualifying, it looked like Noah Wright had got pole position in the Alpha 4C. That is another car that has been used, and the Alpha 4C is, I've had experience with the Alpha 4C, and it seemed to be a very topsy-turvy car when I raced it. Obviously it's now in a multiple car choice. The majority of the field at in Lobby 1 were using the likes of the Alpha 4C and of course the Beetle. Alongside Noah was none other than Sampa in the Honda NSX. It's nice to see the trusty Honda NSX being used. It is a very interesting GT3 car indeed. Then on third place was obviously Nay Fletch in the Alpha 4C. Seemed to be getting to grips with this brand new sort of style class. He was obviously trying to get thereabouts to see how quick he would go for certain bits and pieces. It seemed to be a very much topsy-turvy race for him. I believe there was obviously a bit of interest there. Then you got Rasmus Omren, the Dane, obviously in the Honda. Seems to be liking his racing quite a lot at the moment. And then you have Lee Fitzy. I believe Lee Fitzy is in the Alpha 4C. I believe that's exactly the car he's racing in GT Supercars on a Friday evening, so plenty of laps to get used to it again. Then you got Jeff Steele in the Ferrari, which is a very interesting GT3 car itself. It's going to be very close to see how well he goes. Then you've got Dale Griffiths making his Monday night debut in the Alpha 4C. I believe he was obviously, you know, he races on a Friday in WTSC, and he's a very established and likeable racer indeed. Then you got Brian Moncani, the Belgian, in the Brian Moncani famous coloured Honda NSX. He's actually, believe it or not, he actually raced this a long time ago in Eldar Sim history in the NSX Cup, I believe. So he run the, I think it was the GT4 version, but he's now in the beefier GT3 version. Then obviously you got Nick, the Hammer Games Sergeant, the founder of Eldar Sim Racing, in the trusty Renault Sport RS1, which is a very bogey car to be looking at, but it is a very nice looking machine, I must admit. Then obviously Stu Shelton at the tail of the field then. So let's get into the action and let's see how well the guys get on here at Suzuka for round number 1 of the championship. So let's have a look, then we'll go on board with Noah looking at the start finish straight. It is quite a bit to go, but we'll go on board with him so we get a rough idea with the lights, and then we will obviously get ready. He's building up the revs, try not to bog down at the start. The green lights are going to flick on now, and let's see what happens. He gets a bit of a wheel spin, which has allowed Sampa to get there into first place then. So he's tucked right behind the Honda NSX driver at the moment. He's actually in an NSX sandwich because Rasmus Omren is there. Nay Fletch is also trying to chase down in that Alpha. Looks like the Ferrari of Jeff Steele at the moment, trying to push on. He's trying to get thereabouts. He's up into 5th place, then Lee Fitzy in 6th with Brian Moncani, Dale, and of course Nick currently in 9th, then trying to get amends. He's trying to push it further away up the grid as best as he can. He's thereabouts, but the two Renaults at the tail of the field at the moment. But it could be very careful going into Dunlop for the first time then, as Sampa goes into Degner 1 and Degner 2. He looks like he's got a Super GT livery there, so it looks like then Noah's dropped down to 4th at the moment. Nay Fletch has jumped ahead of him into 3rd place, but going into the hairpin at the top of the hill then, it looks like the Alphas are trying to get up to speed to compete with the likes of the Hondas and of course the Obviously there's a bit of a battle between Nate Fletch and of course Noah at the moment. Both these guys race each other in WTSC on a Friday, so that's going to be very interesting to see what they can do between the pair of them. It will be thereabouts, but going out of Spoon then for the first time, it could be very tooth and nail between the pair of them if they are not careful. But you know, Nate Fletch is trying to get the move or trying to defend going into 130R as he does. It's not very easy to do a 130R maneuver, but obviously in GT3 or GR3 cars it can be quite tricky. Obviously Nick's up to 6th then. He's obviously trying to work that Renault power to his advantage. It seems to be very close, but looking at the I believe that is a NASCAR inspired livery. He's trying to push his way further up the field as best as he can in the Renault. Then you've got Brian Moncani with Dale Griffiths trying to go into turn number 1. Goes a bit wide there. Oh, there's a bit of contact between him and Brian Moncani. I don't know whether that was intentional. I don't think it was. I just think Dale got onto the grass and he couldn't slow down enough, so it's dropped him down into 8th place with Jeff Steele in 9th place in that Ferrari, with Stu Shelton getting to grips with that Renault. He seems to be thereabouts, but it seems that Noah's still there in 3rd place at the moment. Rasmus and Sampa 1st and 2nd respectively. Going through the Dagners in the Honda. The Honda will be suited round here because it is home advantage, but nevertheless we'll see exactly what goes on. We are just going to be looking at what Noah's going to be doing. Is he going to push that Alpha to its degree, trying to catch up to the local advantages? Lee Fitzy, Nick's run a bit wide by looks of it into the hairpin, but he's still catching up to the likes of Lee Fitzy. Brian Moncani still there, Dale and of course Jeff trying to push up further up the field. The Ferrari versus the Alfa Nelson, the 2 Italian sports cars trying to have a battle as well, but going into Spoon then, it looks like there's a massive train going on. Stu Shelton at the tail of the field at the moment, but Dale's under pressure from Jeff going down towards 130R. We're on board with Jeff's Ferrari at the moment, trying to see exactly how well he's going to go. Is he going to try and push on for that degree to see exactly how close it's going to get? But going into 130R, he gets a bit loose. He's trying to still catch up to Dale. Dale's going to break the Casio triangle. The race, it seems to be a very easy match maneuver round here at Suzuka, but looking at exactly what's going on further up, I think Rasmus is trying to catch up to the back of Sampa's Kane. I think that's exactly what it is, the Super GT livery of Sampa. He's trying to catch him up as best as he can, it seems. At the moment, Sampa with that advantage at the moment, trying to get away from Rasmus Omeren, the Finnish driver, versus the Dane. So the 2 Scandinavians are battling for 1st and 2nd at the moment, and so on to lap 3 already. It seems that Rasmus Omeren is trying to chase him down. Looks like Noah's trying to get that Twitch Alpha 4C thereabouts to try and push on quite a bit. Whether he does or not is another thing, but Sampa's getting under pressure straight away from Rasmus going into that hairpin. Got to get the line out. The Degman's dead on. It could be like Lee Fitz, he could be also pushing, but Honda 1-2 with 3 Alphas at the moment, with the Renault of Nick still there in 6th place at the moment. Dale's still 7th. Brian Moncani, what has happened to Brian? He's dropped down to the tail of the field then. Seemed to be there in 10th place at the moment. He seems to be pushing on a bit. The Belgian, obviously, you know, trying to push as best as he can. He's actually trying to push that Honda to the degree he's one of the 3 Hondas, but going into 130R then Sampa is trying to push away. Looks like Nate Fletch has got past Noah. I believe he got past at Spoon, so it's going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. Nate Fletch also there in 3rd at the moment, trying to push that Team Sky Alpha 4C at the moment into that sort of podium position at the moment. We'll go on to lap number 4 very shortly, go through Casio Triangle, but it looks like Lee Fitz is trying to join the Alpha Symmetry. He is, but It's not quick enough as of yet, but he'll catch him up, I'm sure. Nick's still there in 6th at the moment, doing a fabulous job in that Renault. And obviously Dale in 7th with Jeff, and of course Stu Shelton also being chased by Brian Montgomery at the moment. But Samper has been caught by Rasmus Ommeren very quickly now. This could be very easy and be very interesting going towards Dunlop as we go. But you've got to be very careful, because obviously if you make a mistake into Degner 1, then clips that curb. Going to try and line it up for Degner 2. He's going to try and be thereabouts. Is he going to push on and try and catch to the back of Samper for that first place? At the moment it looks like Fletch and of course Noah's trying to catch him up as best as he can. We'll go on board with Noah. He's trying to get a move out of the hairpin. He's alongside Fletch. He actually gets the move done. Absolutely top class. And this is going to be absolutely tooth and nail. This could be very crucial. Looks like Noah's got the fastest lap so far the race with a 2:0:10, and it seems to be thereabouts. Is he going to push on for that degree? Is he going to be able to get past Fletch? Is Fletch going to be able to catch him up? Is Lee Fitzy going to be able to do that? It seems at the moment. We'll see what is going on between the two Scandinavians. You've got Samper versus Rasmus Ommeren going through 130R into Casio Triangle for the 4th time. Then it is going to be thereabouts. We'll see how quick these two push on. These two have raced each other before. Yes, they've had a bit of easy memento in that them Hondas at the moment, but the Alphas are coming very quickly. The Alphas are now getting into the zone, but Nick's still there in 6th, and Dale 7th at the moment. Looks like Jeff's still there in 8th in his Ferrari at the moment, trying to push on. Stu Shelton with that Renault thereabouts. He's trying to get away. Brian Montgomery though, he is struggling at the moment. But looking at the battle for first, then Samper is already. Is he going to be under pressure from Rasmus Ommeren? He seems to be, but Rasmus, he's dropped back a bit as he got dirt on his tyres. Or is it just the Hondas playing games with each other? Into Dunlop then for the 5th time then through Degner 1. Degner 2 is going to be thereabouts, but you know, Lee Fitzy has got past Noah's dropped down. Has he had an issue? It looks like he either had an issue or he's had a penalty. He's dropped down to 6th place at the moment. That is unfortunate. But I tell you what, the Hondas are still putting each other under pressure just as we head towards Spoon. It's going to be very careful this time around. Lap 5 then. It is going to be absolutely unreal between these guys at the moment. It seems to be very close to see how close Samper can get away and get that gap bigger and bigger to get away from Rasmus Ommeren. But we know what Rasmus is like with his racing. It seems to be thereabouts. Are we going to be looking at a Honda shuffle, the Honda 1-2 at the moment? But as I say, they will not be using this car next week at Tokyo, but it's going to be thereabouts. Samper brakes into Casio Triangle. Rasmus locks up a brake, almost hits the back of Samper's Honda, so the Hondas are still there. And Fletch still in 3rd at the moment with Lee Fitzy now pushing on. It looks like Lee Fitzy is using the Alpha to try and get away from Nick's Renault at the moment. Nick's Renault is really coming alive into this race now, but Noah in 6th, then Dale 7th at the moment. Jeff in 8th, and Stu Shelton 9th, and Brian Montgomery's Honda at the tail of the field at the moment. It seems to be, whether he's pushing on quite a bit, but I'm sure he will. But Rasmus Ommeren, Samper's dropped down. What has happened to Samper to drop down to 3rd? He skidded out of turn number 1. That is exactly what's gifted Rasmus the race lead then. That's exactly what happened, you know, in a couple of races. Turn number 1, when you get the line wrong, it'll spin you onto the inside, and I'll tell you what, Lee Fitzy is going to try and catch him. He's going to try and spoil it now. He's going to try and make it an Alpha 2nd and 3rd, but you know, Lee Fitzy the Welshman trying to push on. He's got Samper in his sights. Into Dunlop we go. Got to be very careful on here. We don't clip the wall, but Nick's catching him up as well. Lee Fitzy into Degner 1 then. Is he going to try and catch Samper going into second? Degner's. Oh, he can do just about, but he gets a bit of a wiggle on. Nick's got... Oh! Nick had gone off track there. You could just see the Renault getting a bit loose out of Degner 2 there. And he's dropped back down to 6th place with Dale hot on his heels trying to catch him up. You know, and it is going to be very careful to see exactly what's happening. Jeff still in 8th then with Stu Shelton 9th. Brian Moncani should be thereabouts. Yes, he is. He's just catching ever so slightly now. He's just going to have to catch on, but we're on to lap number 6 then. And it is going to be very close to see how well things go between these guys at the moment. It is also going to be a very quick and easy memento, but Rasmus Omeren then currently pushing to try it. Oh, he looks up a break yet again. Doesn't like breaking into Casio Triangle. Looks like the car's a bit off balance there going into Casio. I think his brake bias maybe towards the rear slightly. Lee Fitzy in the Alpha trying to chase down Samper. We'll go on board with the Alpha 4C then of Lee Fitzy. Gonna be pushing that Honda. He's going to try and get up to that Honda. Is he going to try and do it into turn number 1? He's a bit... Oh, he's getting there slowly but surely. But is he going to be able to catch up to Samper? It will be an easy thing to think about. Noah's still there in 5th place at the moment and trying to catch up to the other two. Nick still in 6th for the time being. Oh boy, he's spun! He's spun around. That is unfortunate. Is the Renault being unpredictable at the moment? We spoke about the Renault previously saying it was a nice car, but maybe if it snaps away from you it isn't. But that's allowed Dale in 6th place then at the moment. Stu Shelton still there. Brian Moncani now up into 9th place then with Jeff's Ferrari trying to push on. It could be a mistake. Jeff's probably made a mistake somewhere along the lines, but Samper's under threat from Lee Fitzy. Still just that Alpha trying to catch him up slowly but surely. He may do it this time around going towards Spoon then. Let's see if he's going to catch him up to see how hard Samper is working the tail. But we're going to have a look. Stu Shelton in the Renault then trying to catch up to Nick Sargent in the other Renault, but he's got to be careful because Brian Moncani, yes that's right, Brian Moncani, the Belgian, on course to try and push on for quite a bit. It seems to be thereabouts, but you can easily tell how well Brian Moncani races. I'll tell you what, he likes to support me quite well as Nick has an issue. What happened to Nick going into Spoon? Oh, I clipped the gravel again. That Renault is not liking the circuit at the moment, so he's dropped down now to 9th place because Brian Moncani gets through. He's lucky he's not at the back of the field with Jeff catching him in the Ferrari, but it could be thereabouts. But the battle for 3rd, Samper has already got overtaken by Lee Fitzy. Samper's got to be careful not to go wide again because it will catch him out and it will potentially spin him round. But Lee Fitzy has the place then. Noah in 5th then. That's allowing Rasmus Omeren and of course Nate Fletch in 2nd at the moment. You can just hear the Honda going up the road. But Lee Fitzy with the Alpha, you know, I think he's raced the Alpha before if I remember rightly, if my memory suits me correctly. But he seems to be pushing on. 103 Alfa Romeo 4C, the Martini coloured, beautiful livery. Samper gets a bit onto that curb into the Degner, then he goes into the other Degner, but he's hot on Lee Fitzy's heels now. He's going to have to be careful. On to lap 8 we go then. It seems to be a very quick, interesting race, but Noah is there. Is a three car battle. It's almost a tight Alpha sandwich, and you don't want to make it very tight because, you know, the Cahin NSX is going to try and get away from the Twitch Alpha 4C. Noah's going to try and make that move on the outside into Spoon. Sampa's there. Sampa's got to be really on the ragged edge to try and get away from that 4C. He's got another 4C ahead of him, but is that going to be possible? Is that going to be possible? Because, you know, Rasmus Omeron still leading the race then. It seems to be a very interesting race. Brian Moncani's still there in 8th place at the moment, whereas Nick's Renault is going to try and push and catch up to the tail of Brian Moncani's Honda, but Sampa is still there in... Oh, Lee Fitzie's had a bit of an issue. What happened there? I think he was going through 130R and he suddenly... Yeah, he went wide at 130R, he clipped that curb and it nearly spat him back into the track, but he's gone there now. But that's allowed Sampa to get back into 3rd place then. So that's allowed Sampa and Noah to carry on. Lee Fitzie is the first to pit then. So it is now time to make a pit stop. Dale doing a fabulous job in 5th place at the moment then. Sampa and Noah. Noah's going to try and go on the outside into turn number 1. Is he going to be brave enough? They're almost side by side. Actually, they are side by side. This could end in an absolute fantastic move for Noah. Absolute top draw. Absolutely unreal. He's actually got there into 3rd place, then knocks Sampa back down to 4th. Sampa in the Cahin NSX is not going to like that, but he's going to have to try and push on. There's a lot of tar or rubber on the circuit at the moment. Nate Fletch still there in 2nd with Rasmus Omeron 1st place at the moment. Noah's still thereabouts. He's holding on for 3rd place. Still has the fastest lap of the race so far. No one's actually matched him, but he's going to have to be very careful to see how well he's going to go. It is going to be down to the likes of Noah and of course Sampa. Sampa's going to be thereabouts. He's going to have to try and push exactly how quick he's going to go. Sampa is there. Dale still in 5th place then. Stu Shelton now. Brian Moncani is now up into 7th. Stu's actually 6th. Stu's an established racer yet again. The Renault of Nick, as Nick had an issue. You know, he's just spun it out of Degner 2 there, which is a bit unfortunate for him. He's lost a bit of ground between himself and Lee Fitzie now. Well, that's allowed Lee Fitzie back into 8th place then. Seems the Renault is suffering around here. I remember in lobby 1 when we did the live coverage, the Renault seemed to be struggling quite a bit. Jeff in 10th then. He's made a pit stop, but what is happening between the top 2? Are the top 2 going to go into pit lane? Or is it just going to be playing it out? Like Noah is still there in 3rd place at the moment. Then he's going to try and push on for another lap as Sampa goes into pit lane. That is going to be very interesting. So that will bring Dale up into 4th on his debut on a Monday evening. He seems to be a very established and likeable racer. So Rasmus Omeron still leading the race from Lee Fletch on lap number 10. Noah's thereabouts at the moment, still twitching that, if you pardon the pun, twitching that Alpha 4C. But Brian Moncani and of course Stu Shelton with Brian Moncani's Honda side by side almost. Stu closes the door. That Renault is the Renault of Stu Shelton seems to be thereabouts, but Brian Moncani, however, sporting his famous colours and a bit of flame on the sides. It's looking very capable of getting to where he wants to be, the Belgian. Very established racer himself, but that's allowed Rasmus Omeron to catch or still have that lead from Lee Fletch. Noah still there in 3rd. Dale 4th at the moment. Stu Shelton and Brian, they're still going to battle. They actually battled each other in JTCC a couple of seasons ago, and I think it was thereabouts to be pushing on quite a bit. Lee Fitzie still there in 7th and Sampa in 8th, and Jeff in 9th, Nick coming out of pit lane then in 10th place. Looked like he had a bit of a slow lap there, so it's going to be costing him a bit. I think that spin cost him a bit of time. But going into Casio Triangle, Rasmus Ommeren then, is he going to pit this time round, or is he just going to crack on? Nah, he's diving into pit lane, so that may give Nate Fletch the race lead. Yes, it will. So that's going to be very close to see how well he's going to do. I think Noah's going to stay out for another lap, just about. But it's going to look like the Alphas could be a 1, 2, 3. But I think Dale's jumping into pit lane. But so we go back to this battle between Stu and Brian. Brian seems to be pushing that Honda to its limit at the moment. The Honda is on favoritism. Well, not favoritism, but it's on home turf, so it should be favourite to get thereabouts. But they're up to roughly 4th and 5th still, because Rasmus Ommeren jumps out into 3rd place then in his Honda, the Goodyear Honda. So he's going to be thereabouts. Is he going to try and push on now to try and chase after likes of Nate Fletch and of course Noah to see what goes on? Looks like Lee Fitzie's also trying to catch up to Brian Montgarney. You see that Martini Alfa Romeo trying to, when you saw it, it was trying to lurk in the background and trying to catch Brian as best as he can. But you can just see how quickly and how furious this racing gets. It's an absolute fabulous championship, and I'll tell you what, it wouldn't surprise me if we see some close proximity interests going into Degner 1 then. Brian Montgarney closes the door, which in turn delays Lee Fitzie, but Lee Fitzie catches him back up into Degner 2. He may take 2 cars at the hairpin. He's got Stu Shelton also trying to battle with Brian. Brian's trying to defend like mad, but also at the same time trying to make a move onto Stu Shelton. They're going to try and make it 3 wide possibly. Well, Lee Fitzie, he's got to be very careful he doesn't get the door closed in his face. But I'll tell you what, Stu Shelton, these two, oh, Lee Fitzie, oh, a bit of contact between the pair of them, but he gets through. But Brian Montgarney says, not on your life, sunshine. The exit spoon is my game. But and then Fletch jumps into pit lane, then that's going to be very interesting. Noah jumps into pit lane, so we'll see exactly what's going to happen between the pair of them. But Brian Montgarney has dropped down to 7th at the moment, because Sampa has also got past. But I'm just going to watch exactly what's going to happen. I think Rasmus Ommeren retakes the race lead. Yes, he will. But we need to watch the pit stops here between. But Stu Shelton goes into pit lane. Noah is also there. Noah is in pit lane at the moment. Nate Fletch, however, we'll see what he's going to do. Just comes out ahead of Lee Fitzie, Sampa, of course Brian Montgarney. But Noah crosses the white line out of pit lane. That will go against him. I'm sure that will go against him. He crossed the white line out of pit lane. That is not really the best you can do at the moment. That will cost him. That will cost him dearly. But obviously, you know, into pit lane then is Stu Shelton. Excuse me. But Nick is just coming through Casio Triangle at the moment. That Renault seems to be really struggling at the moment. Nate Fletch back in 2nd, then Lee Fitzie 3rd on fresher rubber, trying to push away, or trying to push up to Nate Fletch then. Nate Fletch is going to be thereabouts. Is he going to be the one that seems to be thereabouts? Lee Fitzie is still there. Sampa 4th, Brian Montgarney 5th now. Noah in 6th, then Noah will probably be looked at with the stewards after crossing the white line into pit lane, or coming out of pit lane rather. Dale is going to be 7th at the moment. Jeff in 8th then. Stu in 9th, Nick in 10th at the moment. He's seriously going to think what he's going to do for this Renault. The Renault seems to be, it may be a nice looking car, but I believe it's a handful. But I'll tell you what, going in towards Spoon then, Lee Fitzie's got past, has got past Nate Fletch then. Nate Fletch has got to get them tyres up for that temperature on the Alpha 4C. Locks up a brake into Casio Triangle. but he's going to be thereabouts. Sumper is going to be pushing on quite a bit, and I'll tell you what, is Sumper going to be pushing that Cahin NSX to where he wants to be? He's got thereabouts, but Brian Moncani jumps into pit lane then, so he's left it a bit later than everyone else at the moment. But the Brian Moncani Racing Honda crew will get there, and they will get him served and potentially back into the race very soon. But that is going to be very close between Nate Fletch and Lee Fitzy at the moment. Lee Fitzy has that memento for the Alpha. He's obviously, you know, quick pedaler, trying to get that Martini Alpha over and done with. Rasmus Omeron seems to be leading the race quite a bit, and he's going to be absolutely on top of the world if he carries on. But I'll tell you what, the Honda seems to be very quick at the moment. Lee Fitzy then, I do apologise, I pressed the wrong button. But Lee Fitzy's still getting that gap from Nate Fletch at the moment. Nate Fletch also getting caught by Sampo. We're on board with Cahin NSX. He's going to be thereabouts. Is he going to be able to catch up to these two ahead of him? Go on board with him going under the bridge then towards the hairpin here at Suzuka. It is going to be a very close battle between the top, between the second, third and fourth. Now we're back up into fifth then. Dale sixth, Jeff in seventh, Brian Moncani eighth at the moment on cold tyres then. So the Honda is going to be thereabouts. We'll see how well he gets. Stu Shelton into ninth at the moment. Nick still in 10th place at the moment then. It seems to be a very quick battle between quite a few of the cars. It is going to be thereabouts, but Rasmus Omeronen seems to be powering his way in that Honda to Casco Triangle. Lee Fitzy there, and Nate Fletch catching up slowly but surely, but Samper is there. Samper is in fourth at the moment, Nate Fletch in third, Samper fourth, Lee Fitzy still in second place at the moment, but that could soon change. That could soon change with Nate Fletch trying to catch up to Lee Fitzy. If he's not careful, it could be thereabouts, but Samper fourth and Noah still fifth at the moment. He's going to try and push on quite a bit. He wants to get a decent result. Pole position guy, he seemed to be thereabouts. Dale sixth at the moment, doing a stellar job in that green and black Alpha 4C. Jeff in seventh and Brian Moncani now still eighth place at the moment. I don't know whether the Honda has a bit of a slightly, doesn't have a slight issue. I think he was just on cold tyres. Stu Shelton in ninth and obviously Nick in 10th place at the moment, trying to push that Renault to the degree, but I'm interested to see what happens between Lee Fitzy and of course Nate and of course Samper. At the moment we're on to lap 14 then, so we're not going to be very close as of yet, but I think, you know, this is where it could be very close for these guys at the moment. It is fast approaching the halfway mark of the race, so it could be very quick to see what's going to happen between the pair of them. It will be thereabouts, but you know, Lee Fitzy trying to push away from the Fletch at the moment with Samper still there in fourth place. Noah in fifth place at the moment, and Noah seems to be enjoying his racing at Eldar Sim. He really enjoys the battles on a Friday night in WTSC. It seems a very quick proximity because, you know, he's obviously thereabouts. He seems to be very quick to see how fast he's going to get to the likes of Lee Fitzy and of course Samper and of course Nath rather, with Lee Fitzy trying to catch up to the back of Rasmus Omeron, but Rasmus is too far up the road at the moment. On to lap 15 then we go. It's going to be thereabouts, but you know, it could be very careful. Nate Fletch still there in third place at the moment, and he could be on course to go and chase after Rasmus if he gets past Lee Fitzy. Samper's still there in fourth at the moment. It seems to be a very quick proximity battle now between the the second and third alphas, Rasmus Ommeren, and he's still miles ahead of everyone else. But you know, Nate Fletch is still doing a stellar job trying to catch up to Lee Fitzy. Both alphas are absolutely on course to try and push on quite a bit, and this is where it could happen into the Degnarsden. Lee Fitzy runs a bit wide off that curve, but it's not too much. It's not going to hamper him too much. But Nate Fletch, oh, it's getting there. You can just see how much rubber's been laid down throughout the course of this race. It's going to be very careful to see how quick these guys go. But I'll tell you this, it is going to be unstoppable between Lee Fitzy and of course Nate at the moment, because Rasmus Ommeren, he is light years ahead of people in this race. He is going to be unstoppable. Into Spoon, then out of Spoon. It's a long sweeping left-hand bend, so he's going to have to be very careful to see exactly what's going to happen. But I'll tell you what, Lee Fitzy, he's getting caught, and he's getting caught quite quickly. You just see Samper and Noah is catching up to Samper. Just the Hondas seem to be a very interestingly going to be thereabouts, but looking exactly at what is happening between the likes of Noah and of course Samper at the moment. Dale in 6th, then with Jeff getting caught by Brian Mulcahy slightly. I think Stu and Nick are just playing it safe at the moment in their Renaults. The Renaults seem to be a bit of a bogey car now as the race reaches lap 15, but Jeff's trying to get away from Brian Mulcahy at the moment. But Samper is catched up. Nate Fletch is still there trying to catch up to Lee Fitzy. Samper, oh, you can hear a lot of tyre squeal from that Alpha of Lee Fitzy at the moment. Rasmus Ommeren, he's still light years. He's gone into Degner 1, gone into Degner 2 now. But this is exactly how the race pans out, you know. Lee Fitzy powering that Alpha 4C into Degner. He's got to be careful. Kicked up a bit of dirt there on the way out. I think he had a bit of a break and he tried to push on for quite a bit. It's going to be thereabouts, but Nate Fletch has catched him. He has caught him up. He has literally got him up. We're on board with Nate Fletch chasing after the other Alpha 4C. You can just see the Alpha 4Cs at the moment there actually in a class of their own, but you know, not far back. Looking at Sampo, he's not too far if you think about it, but Lee Fitzy going a bit wide out of Spoon, clips that artificial curbing. But is he going to be thereabouts? Is Nath going to try and make a move into 130R? This could be a very interesting manoeuvre for Nath if he plans it just right. Lee Fitzy gets a bit of a wobble on. He's got to be very careful that he doesn't wobble like jelly, but he's going into Casio Triangle. It could be their memento. It could be very quick. Lee Fitzy is got to be careful. Nate Fletch draws alongside, and because Lee Fitzy has that slide out of Casio Triangle, it is now Nate Fletch back into second place. Then Rasmus Ommeren still leading. Lee Fitzy down to third at the moment. Samper, this guy is catching up to, of course, Lee Fitzy, and of course Nate Fletch at the moment is catching up slowly but surely. No, it's still there trying to catch up to Samper. Dale 6th, then Brian Mulcahy now 7th. Stu Shelton in 8th place with Jeff down in 9th, with Nick in 10th at the moment. Nick's still getting to grips with that run. The Alphas are still having that sort of a bit of a dice battle there. He's got to be careful because I think Samper and of course Noah are going to be catching them up. Got to be interestingly and plan your moves with precision. With Nate Fletch trying to get thereabouts, he's going to be there. It is going to be very much close. Rasmus Ommeren, no, he's still leading the race. So I think no one's actually catched Noah's fastest lap at the moment. So it seems to be very carefully planned out for Noah at the moment. But Rasmus Ommeren then trying to catch away, or trying to catch a gap, which he has done. Nate Fletch still there in second place at the moment, with Lee Fitzy down in third then. So the two Alphas are going to be thereabouts. It is going to be close between them two if we get into the next stint, which is going to be very soon. But I think the way things are going is Nate Fletch is trying to push on and trying to push away from Lee Fitzy at the moment, and it's going to be very close between the two of them. It's also going to be a very much hard battle, because I think Sampa is almost catching, but Noah is getting quicker. That purple Alpha 4C, he is gaining up to Sampa. You can tell how quick he is getting. He's getting there very slowly. He's catching up to Sampa as best as he can, as we see a bit of a interesting battle, because I think Jeff's going to get caught by Nick very shortly. On board with Nick's Renault, you can just see the Ferrari just ahead. At the moment it seems to be thereabouts. The Renault is a very interesting car, I must admit, but you know, I think he's trying to push on quite a lot in that Renault powered Renault Sport at the moment. But Lee Fitzy's dropped back a bit, but Sampa's getting caught by Noah for fourth place at the moment. Sampa's Honda seems to be having a bit of a tyre degradation. I don't know whether that is correct or not, but he's been caught by Noah. Noah's caught him very quickly. You can just see the Alpha 4C going on board with Noah's Alpha, going into the hairpin for the 18th time then. It's going to be thereabouts, but we'll see how quick he gets. Sampa is going to have to be careful. They're going to be almost side by side. It's going to be very interesting going into Spoon. Is Noah going to try and get that outside line? Noah gets a bit of a tap from Sampa going into Spoon. He's got to, oh, he's got it done. He has got the move done on exit of Spoon. Fantastically overtaken, and Sampa now drops back to fifth, but he's still hot on Noah's heels going towards 130R. 130R, it is not a place you want to make an overtaking maneuver. You've got to be really gutsy and you've got to be brave. But that was absolutely fabulous from Noah. What a top class overtake. But he's run wide at Casio Triangle. That's allowed Sampa. Lee Fitzy actually does dive into pit lane. What is... oh, it's going to be very close. Sampa and Noah, fair play. Oh, a bit of a squeeze there between the pair of them. That could have easily cost them quite a bit. On to lap 19 we go then. Rasmus Omren, he must be laughing at the moment, because he's now still leading the race from Nate Fletch, Noah and of course Sampa. Dale in fifth place then, with Brian Moncani chasing Lee Fitzy. Is he going to get out in front of Brian Moncani, or is Brian Moncani going to literally take that Honda and push on? It seems at the moment, oh, he's had a bit of an issue there. Seems he was skating out of Casio Triangle and picked up a lot of sparks. He's thereabouts, but Stu in 8th and Jeff in 9th at the moment. Nick still in 10th place at the moment, still getting to grips with that Renault at the moment. It's going to be very close to see how well things go. But I'll tell you what, Nate Fletch is pushing on quite a bit. Noah's still under attack from Sampa. Sampa is getting a bit crossed up out of the hairpin. On board with Sampa's Honda, chasing after the Twitch Alpha 4C at the moment. Let's see how well he's going to go. It's going to be very close. We're going to be on course for a very interesting battle with only a handful of laps to go. I'll tell you what, it is getting there. Sampa is trying to push on. Maybe Sampa's tyres are going slightly off on that Honda. It could be thereabouts, but I'll tell you what, it is going to be very close, because Noah is still there. They Fletch into Casio Triangle, but I'll tell you what, Sampa, be interesting to see whether he pits this time round. If he's struggling quite mad in that Honda, it will be a very close proximity, I'll tell you that now. But it could be very close to see what's going to happen. He stays out for another lap, so is he going to try and push Noah to the absolute limit? Dale's still there in 5th place, then Lee Fitzy 6th. Brian is still out on there in 7th. It seems to be seems to be okay now. It seems to be just having a bit of a leisurely drive in that Honda at the moment. Obviously just getting back used to it after driving a Nissan GTR on a Friday, but he will be thereabouts. But Stu Shelton, however, 8th place at the moment. Jeff still there in 9th, Nick still in 10th. But I'll tell you what, fair play to these guys. They are not giving up at the moment, and it seems to be the battle for third place. It's getting a bit closer. Sampa is getting closer to Noah. I think the Honda and the Alpha, just looking at the gap, it's not that far to be fair, but you know, I think Sampa's going to try and push Noah to a degree. Noah runs a bit wide out of the Dagners, but is he going to try and get away from Sampa's Honda? He could be. The Twitch Alpha seems to be thereabouts. Sampa's got that Honda dialed up quite quickly, and he's going to be thereabouts. You can just see how fast and how furious he's going to be. Sampa is a well-established racer, but you know, he has recently found himself in hot water because he's trying to push on. You know, I think, you know, he's trying to learn his racecraft. Okay, he races the Manufacturer Cup race on it, but you know, to racing one of the Honda, it could be a very interesting car come the end of the season. I believe Nick and of course Jeff are in pit lane, so that's both changed a bit of the order. But Rasmus Omren, however, is put a lap on both of them then. So Nick is still in pit lane, topping up that fuel tank. So he's around 2 laps down at the moment, which is a bit unfortunate. Maybe a lap down, but hopefully that should be. Sampa goes into pit lane then. We kind of gathered he would be going into pit lane at some point. So Rasmus Omren then, however, just getting past Jeff for that to put a lap on him. Noah's still there in a third at the moment then. Nate Fletch still thereabouts in second place at the moment. Sampa's dropped down to 6th place in the pit stop. But is there a battle between Lee Fitzy and Dale? Yes, there is. Dale's trying to defend from Lee Fitzy at the moment, and so the two Alphas, the green versus the Martina machine, could be very close between these two come the next part of the lap. Brian Mulcahy jumps into pit lane then, as Lee Fitzy is putting Dale under pressure. Is he going to try and get the move done? He does try and get it. He does try and get it. Oh, he gets a better line because Dale's a bit slow out of that corner. Slow getting into Dunlop. So Lee Fitzy gets by. And I'll tell you what, that was another clean move. But I'll tell you what, maybe a bit of paint swap on the way. But nevertheless, these two are battling long and hard for that 4th place at the moment. It seems that Sampa has rejoined in 6th place then. So the Honda is going to be powerful to try and catch up to the other Alpha 4Cs. Sampa's probably sick of seeing the Alpha 4C at the moment. But fair play to him. He is there in 6th place at the moment. Stu Shelton in 7th. Brian Mulcahy in 8th then, pushing that Honda. So Rasmus Omren is the first person out of the top 3 to carry on. So Nate Fletch will jump there, but I believe Noah will be pushing to the limit. He is into 2nd place then, so Nate Fletch will be race leader. It will be very interesting. Will Rasmus get out before Lee Fitzy gets onto the start finish line? He's heading to Casio Triangle, is Lee, but it could be thereabouts. We'll see exactly what's going to happen. Yes, Rasmus plans it to perfection, because Lee Fitzy is in 4th then, with Dale in 5th at the moment. Sampa still chasing after the pair of them, but I'll tell you what, fair play at the moment then. On to lap 22 we go. Stu Shelton still there in 7th, Brian in 8th then, he's still pushing on. Jeff in 9th then. Nick's still there in 10th place at the moment. I feel sorry for Nick. He's obviously having a bit of a, I don't know whether it's a disaster or it's just a bit of an easy sort of moment or two, but Noah's still there in second at the moment. Rasmus third. This could play into the hands of Rasmus if he puts the power down of that Honda to try and get back into the lead of the race. Then it could be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. We're on to 45 minutes of the race then, just thereabouts, but it's not far away from the checkered flag dropping very soon. But Willie Fitzy's still there in fourth at the moment. Samper gets past Dale. They'll put the hairpin. Dale is still there though. He's actually still trying to catch up to Samper. The green Alpha 4C versus the Honda, the Keihin NSX. It could be a very interesting battle between these two. Dale drops back a bit. Oh, he's had a bit of a moment going into Spoon. He's probably had a bit of a lock up, but Noah goes into pit lane as well, so that is going to allow Rasmus Oren, as he locks up his brakes into Casio Triangle, to get back into the race lead. This could be vital. This could be vital for Rasmus because he needs to push on quite a bit. That is allowing Noah and of course Nate Fletch to be thereabouts. Lee Fitzy, the Martini Alpha 4C, oh, he's gone off. He's gone straight off at on exit of Casio Triangle. How did that happen? Puts the power down and then straight off. That is a bit unfortunate for Lee Fitzy there. Has that been an issue with his Alpha? It seems that Noah's crossed the line again out of pit lane, but Lee Fitzy gets going. He has still got back into 5th place though, because the likes of Dale pitting, but that's cost him a heck of a lot of time because Samper's now back into 4th. Then that was a bit of a weird moment going out of Casio Triangle for Lee Fitzy. Lee Fitzy seems to be, as he picks up some damage during that issue with the wall. No, he hasn't, but it seems to be thereabouts. But you know, he's still there in 5th place. Stu Shelton 6th, Dale in 7th, then Brian in 8th at the moment. Chef's still there in 9th, then Nick's still in 10th at the moment. But Rasmus Oren back into the race lead, then with Noah and Nate Fletch 2nd and 3rd at the moment. Samper 4th now. What has Samper got to do to get back into that sort of momentum? It is 47 minutes on the clock then. It's going to obviously wind, you know, it's winding down very slowly. It's thereabouts. It's almost, race is almost at its latter half now, so it looks like Rasmus is going to be taking a comfortable victory. Bear in mind any mistake, which he almost slides out of Casio Triangle. It's hard to tell what happened to Lee Fitzy going out of Casio Triangle. Did he have a moment where the car just snapped on him, or was it just one of them? But it's hard to tell. But Samper still there in 4th place at the moment. Lee Fitzy heading towards Casio Triangle this time round. We'll get to see exactly what happened for him. Did he have a bit of an issue, or was it just a bit of a problem for the Alpha 4C? Samper sliding that Honda, just going out of turn number 1. It's going to be very close between quite a few drivers at the moment, but I'll tell you what, Rasmus Omren seems to be enjoying his racing at the moment. It's a bit of a battle between Stu Shelton and Dale. Comes out, so he was in pit lane, but he's thereabouts. He's trying to catch up to Stu Shelton. Brian Moncani trying to do exactly the same. The Honda driver thereabouts. Jeff's still there, pushing that Ferrari to its limits. Nick's obviously still plodding around at the back at the moment, bless him. But it will be thereabouts. But looking at Rasmus Omrunen, he's going to be pushing for quite some time. But you know, we're winding down towards the checkered flag now. The checkered flag, what should I say? Nate Fletch still there in second at the moment. Stellar job from Nate, trying to push on that Alpha 4C. Noah still thereabouts in the third place at the moment. Don't know what's going to happen, because there may be some out penalty dished out because he crossed the white line going out of pit lane. Sumper's still in fourth at the moment, and Lee Fitzy. Oh, Lee Fitzy! Oh, he's got a bit of... He's had a bit of a nightmare at the moment this time round, has he had? And it seems that Alpha is having a bit of an issue at the moment, and it seems it's going to be... No idea of what's happened to his Alpha. Stu's got a bit of an issue in that Renault at the moment. He's dropped down to 7th place at the moment, but Dale has had a bit of an issue. That Alpha 4C is not firing very well. Lee Fitzy's got a bit of an issue as well, but he seems the Alphas are having a bit of a moment, but they're not really running out of fuel, so it's a bit weird. There's Stu's getting caught by Dale and Brian Moncani. Stu's had a bit of a moment going... Oh, let's see what happened there. Going into Casio Triangle, it looked like we're going... Well, yeah, we'll see what goes on, but I think Dale's caught him, but then Stu's tried to go into pit lane. I think he... Excuse me. Don't know whether he's meant to go into pit lane, but that's cost him a bit. He's got a bit of front aero damage there, so you know that's cost him now more time from Brian Morgani and of course Dale. So Jeff's still there, ninth. Nick still plodding along at the back in 10th place at the moment. Rasmus Ommeren then pushing on for what could be a very interesting victory for him. Nate Fletch still there in second. Samper in third at the moment. Could be third if there's any repercussions from Noah, but Noah has the fastest lap with a 159.3 at the moment, so it could be thereabouts, but we'll see how well things go for a lot of interest. But as I say, the checkered flag's not far away now. It's around maybe 5 laps to go. You know, I don't know where I got 2 from, I do apologise, but it may be 5 laps to go. Samper's still there in 4th. Lee Fitzy then pushing that Alpha to its degree. Dale in 6th, then Brian Moncani 7th for the moment. Stu Shelton, after his mad moment, going up Casio Triangle in 8th then, with Jeff still there at 9th and Nick still plodding along. But it could be very interesting for Rasmus. Noah is still there in 3rd at the moment, but it all depends on how well what is going to happen in the stewards. Lee Fitzy's still there in 5th place at the moment, and so Dale and of course the likes of Dale and Brian Moncani are thereabouts. So it is going to be very careful to see exactly what is going to happen, but we are thereabouts. Dale gets a bit crossed up out of the first turn. That's going to probably allow Brian to catch back up. It's going to be there. It is also really unreal this evening, or should I say, yeah, this evening, because it was an evening race. But Brian Moncani catching up to Dale. Dale's trying to get away. That 4C seems to be holding on, but we're on to almost lap 27 then, so it's not far away from the checkered flag. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be very interesting. Stu Shelton 8th, Jeff still there in, of course, 9th, with Nick still there. It's about to start lap 26, but Rasmus Ommeren will start lap 27. This could be a very close battle. But I'll tell you what, looking at Rasmus Ommeren at the moment, he's on lap 27, so he's not far away from a race victory. Nate Fletch is also trying to catch up. Noah's still there. Samper 4th at the moment, so they could be holding a bit of a battle. At the moment it is going to be thereabouts. Lee Fitzy, after that funny moment out of Casio Triangle and a bit further around at Spoon, seems there's been a bit of a momentum, bit of a moment for him, but nevertheless he seems to be holding on for dear life. At the moment we're going to be looking how well he's going to do for future races, but Brian Moncani's 6th now, got past Dale. We kind of gathered that Brian will have that. Gets a bit loose out of Casio Triangle. Is that allowed? Dale's caught catch, able to catch Brian Moncani. Yes, we'll go on board with Dale's Alpha 4C going down the front straight start finish line. Is he going to get the move done into turn number 1? Is he going to do it, or is Brian Moncani going to fight back? Oh my goodness gracious, yes, that is an absolute fantastic move from Dale. That is absolutely quality stuff. So we've got around 5 minutes left then of this race. It is going to be exciting. It is going to be absolutely unreal for these guys. Dale has got past Brian Moncani for 6th place. The Honda looks like it's truly now in the latter half of this race. We are going to be very close to seeing what is going to happen, but believe you me, it is going to be a very close proximity battle for 6th and 7th. Stu's still there in 8th at the moment. Jeff in 9th and Nick still in 10th at the moment. Rasmus Omeron with around, most likely now, handful of laps left. He is going to be thereabouts. It could be a very close battle. We'll see how quick it's going to go for him. Still there in 1st place. Mayflex still in 2nd, then Noah still in 3rd. At the moment it is going to be lightning quick. Sampa in 4th at the moment. This is going to be absolutely unreal, but I tell you what, it is going to be thereabouts. But I tell you what, Noah is going to be 3rd place at the moment. It could be a very close proximity, but Noah has that Alpha 4C. But is he going to find himself in trouble with the stewards for crossing the white line coming out of pit lane? That could go against him. But we're not far away from the end of the race then. We are not far away now. Sampa still in 4th place. Sampa could easily, I know he's a bit far back at the moment, but he's thereabouts. But you know what is happening between Stu Shelton is still there in 8th, and Brian Moncani is pushing for 7th, trying to push back to get to Dale, but he's got a bit of a memento at the moment. He seems to be holding on for dear life. But I tell you what, Rasmus Omren, the Danish driver, he's a very quick driver, I must admit. Nate Fletcher is also trying to push on, but it looks like the likes of Jeff and of course Nick Sargent trying to literally catch up to each other. But Nick's still having a bit of a issue at the moment, and he's got to get past Rasmus Omren. Well, Rasmus has got to try and get past him, should I say, to put a lap on. But we're on to lap 29 then, so we're not far away then. We are not far away from what is going to happen for the last couple of laps then. So we'll see exactly how Rasmus can go, if he can push that Honda to another degree of another race. You know what Rasmus is like when he takes race victories. He's been established in BMW machinery, but it's the first time in a Honda. I'll tell you what, he's also took race victories in WTSC in Friday night and then this on GTR. So he's about to push on for another lap, but Nate Fletch still there in second place, Noah third at the moment, Samper fourth, Lee Fitzy fifth, Dale in sixth then, Brian Moncani in seventh, Stu Shelton eighth. So it looks like at the moment the way things go, with the likes of Jeff and of course Nick at the tail of the field at the moment, but Rasmus Omeren will be on course to try and push on. Is he going to go on to the final lap this time round? Through 130R he goes. Oh, he gets a bit. Oh, I thought he was going to go off there at 130R. You do not want to do that. Locks up a brake yet again, going into Casio Triangle. This is probably where he will now start the final lap of the race then. So he's going to go on to the final lap we go then. It is thereabouts, but I'll tell you what, Nate Fletch is hunting him down now. Nate Fletch has actually caught him up onto the last lap. This could be a very quick sort of race. Yes, it is onto the final lap we go then. So Nick will be thereabouts, but I think Nick's actually unfortunately a lap down, which has cost him, I think their mistakes earlier on cost him a bit of a memento for him, but hopefully he will push on at Tokyo. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen for quite some time. But Lee Fitzy will be 5th place then. Looks like the likes of Dale and of course Brian Moncani will be 6th and 7th. But I tell you what, Rasmus Omeren slightly now been caught by Nate Fletch in the latter half of the race. Is Nate Fletch going to be able to get past and get a race victory, or is Rasmus Omeren going to hold on for dear life? It looks like the top two may be having a bit of a close battle. It seems to be thereabouts at the moment. Nate Fletch is also going to be pushing on for quite some time. He's going to be trying to make a move into 130R, if not into Casio Triangle. We'll go on board with Nate's Alpha. Rasmus Omeren, he's close to Rasmus into 130R. Rasmus gets another fishtail out of 130R. Is Nate going to make the move into Casio Triangle? I don't think he's going to be able to. Rasmus seems to be almost thereabouts, but I'll tell you what, fair play to the pair of them, almost alongside each other going across the line. Rasmus Omeren will take first place from, of course, Nate Fletch. Noah potentially will take a podium, but it will all depend on what the stewards have to say to him regarding them pit lane exit. But I'll tell you what, Samper will be in 4th then, so it looks like Samper will take 4th. But I'll tell you what, that was a very close proximity battle. But we now jump into Tokyo Expressway for the second race. I'm just going to quickly grab a quick drink while this replay downloads so we can get round number 2 up and running. So we'll see how close things go for round number 2 on the streets of Tokyo. It is going to be very close to see exactly how things crack on to see. But we'll see exactly how things are gonna go. So we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But we'll see how close things go. So we'll see how well things go for the next race on the streets of Tokyo, which is going to be coming right up very shortly. So we'll go through the grid for, as per usual, for the race, and then we'll get into the action. So let's have a look what's going to happen here at Tokyo Expressway South Inner Loop. The pit lane is not where you think it is. It is at the second hairpin, and it is a very close battle race around here, and it seems to be a lot of the walls aren't forgiving around here, is all I'm going to say, but hopefully it will provide some great entertainment. And obviously, yes, it is still Hoppers in the commentary box doing the live action. So if you are watching the stream, guys, thank you for tuning in on this Wednesday afternoon. It does mean a lot for your support. But we'll go through exactly the grid then. So we'll see who is in what car. But at the moment then, it is looking likely there was only 9 drivers this time round. But looking at the grid then, for round number 2 on Tokyo Expressway, well, on the streets of Tokyo, it looks like Noah had been penalised by the stewards for getting he's crossing the white line on both his pit stops, so unfortunately he had a penalty. So unfortunately he now stays in the lobby 2. Unfortunately he's now in the Ferrari, so it's now, the cars have now changed. Then we have Panos for Ganis. Unfortunately a penalty in lobby 1 last week at Suzaka cost him dearly, so he ended up dropping down to lobby 2 for this time round. Then we have Jeff in the Beetle. Brilliant qualifying for Jeff to take that Beetle up into 3rd. Then we have Tom Gunter in the Jaguar, the first of what looks like a few interesting manoeuvres. The Jaguar F-Type is thereabouts. Then we have Lee Fitzy in the Lamborghini, so he's qualified 5th. Then Tom Bennett in the McLaren. So Tom Gunter and Tom Bennett were in the Renaults in tier 1 at Suzuka, but unfortunately they were at the tail of the field, so they've had to drop down to lobby 2 for this time round. Then we have Stu Shelton in the other McLaren, then followed by Nick in the McDonald's Honda NSX, followed by Dale Griffiths in the Lamborghini. So let's get underway then. On the streets of Tokyo, we will be looking at Noah's bonnet cam, just because I think the traffic light system is to our sort of position. Not too sure exactly how it goes here, but he gets sort of a lightning start, but then Panos Forganis gets that launch of the Lamborghini in towards turn number 1. Then it looks like the Ferrari is getting swamped, but Tom Bennett, however, tries to push that McLaren alongside, but he can't do it, so Jeff has dropped down to 6th place. Jeff has had a bit of a nightmare in that Beetle. The Beetle, a bit of a famous car for Suzuka, but who was that clipping the wall? It looked like it was Tom Bennett then. So into the hairpin we go then for the first time. It's almost side by side between Noah and Panos Forganis out of the hairpin. It looks like, oh, Noah's got pushed a bit wide. Pushed a bit wide by Panos. It looks like it's getting tight and twisty. But Noah's dropped down to 3rd then with Panos Forganis back into the race lead. But it is getting tight around here. This is what I mean. The streets of Tokyo are forgiving, especially with the walls. Tom Gunter at the tail of the field, it looks like, with the likes of Lee Fitzy now in 4th place with Nick in around 5th, and Nick still got that McDonald's Mustang, not Mustang, NSX rather, dialed up very nicely to try and push on. He's going to be thereabouts, but Noah retakes the race lead into the second hairpin. We go! Ooh. I thought Jeff was going to harpoon Lee Fitzy out of 5th place then, but he's dropped down to 6th then. Stu Shelton 7th, Dale in 8th then with Tom Gunter 9th at the moment, but Noah is on course to push on for quite some time. Is he going to get that Lamborghini power there away from the Ferrari, or away from the Lamborghini, because he's in the Ferrari. It's thereabouts, he's trying to push on. It's quite a lot of narrow. Dale's got a 1/10 penalty, 1/5 penalty. Well, I'll tell you what, it is going to be thereabouts. We will see exactly how quick these guys go. It's not an easy track, it is not forgiving, but Noah so far so good, trying to push away from Panos, and he's also trying to push away from Tom Bennett at the moment. Tom Bennett in his only 2nd event, trying to be thereabouts. He's got Nick behind him. Nick's got to be very careful as well, but Panos has tried to get the... He's got the race lead back from Noah at the moment, going into the hairpin for the 2nd time. Oh, it looks a bit feisty there. Nick's tried to get Noah, but he's lost ground to Lee Fitzy. Tom Bennett trying to do exactly the same with Jeff trying to catch up. This could be a very close battle. This is absolutely playing into the hands of Panos Forganis for 1st place at the moment then. So it looks like Noah is trying to catch up to Panos, but Lee Fitzy is also there. This could be a very close battle between the likes of Noah, Lee Fitzy, and of course Nick, and of course Tom Bennett and Stu Shelton in the time being. The 2 McLarens actually thereabouts. The McLarens and Lambo seem to be the favoritism car for here. Looks like Tom's trying to get a move on to Nick. Stu Shelton's doing exactly the same, but Tom's got that McLaren dialed up. Stu Shelton is also thereabouts for that 6th place though. It looks like Jeff has got that Beetle. Jeff has the Beetle. Is he going to get the Beetle power to get past the likes of Stu Shelton? He's got to be careful. It looks like the walls are not forgiving tonight, because the likes of Dale and Tom Gunter are at the tail of the field at the moment. Stu Shelton clips that wall. It's going to be very close. Tom Bennett, however, trying to push against Lee Fitzy for that 3rd place. It looks like Panos is still leading the race then, so we're going to be really on course for what looks like a very close proximity battle. But I'll tell you what, the streets here of Tokyo aren't forgiving, so they will have to be pushing on quite a bit for quite some time. It is going to be very interesting. Lee Fitzy, however, trying to still take 3rd place from Tom Bennett. He does. Stu Shelton does exactly the same to Nick. Nick drops down to 6th at the moment, and so Jeff's trying to push on in that Beetle. The Beetle seems to be a very underrated machine at the moment, but looking what's going to happen. Oh, Nick's clipped that wall. It's given him 1/3 of a penalty, and that is actually also Lee Fitzy into the wall then, so Lee Fitzy has dropped down. Nick's dropped into 7th, maybe 8th place now. Dale had a bit of a penalty as well, so it seems that Panos Forganis, the Greek, is going to be pushing on for what could be a very interesting race between now and the checkered flag. Noah's still there in 2nd place then. Stu Shelton trying to take Tom Bennett to a bit of a manoeuvre into the hairpin, but it looks like the 2 McLarens at the moment seem to be side by side going up the hill here at Tokyo Expressway at the moment. Seems to be pushing quite a bit. It's going to be tooth and nail. Who's going to be the outcome? It looks like Tom Bennett so far. But Stu Shelton is catching up with Jeff in that Beetle. Jeff in the Beetle. He's catching these 2 up quite quickly. Lee Fitzy is trying to push on as well, trying to get that Lamborghini back up to where he wants to be. Tom Gunter 7th and Nick in 8th at the moment. Dale unfortunately in 9th place at the moment. Fair play today, although he's not giving up. He will be thereabouts. It is going to be close as you think. But Panos for Ganis at the moment, still leading the race then, with Noah in second. Noah's had a bit of an issue by the looks of it, with the likes of Tom Bennett and Stu Shelton. To McLaren still battling. Oh my goodness, this is fantastic. Tom Bennett versus Stu versus Jeff. Jeff gets that Beetle. Thought the Beetle was going to launch an attack then, but nevertheless it looks like it is going to be very careful. Stu Shelton, 5/10 penalty. 5/10 penalty. He will have to take that. Jeff's going to be overtaking him now, because Stu is about to take that penalty. Yes, he is. That's allowed the likes of Lee Fitzy and, of course, Jeff to get ahead. Fitzy goes skating on the wall, which then allows Jeff to get away in 4th place at the moment. As I say, these walls aren't forgiving. Tom Gunter in the Jaguar, chased after Stu Shelton. On board with Tom into the hairpin we go then. But it looks like Lee Fitzy is going to be pushing on. He's trying to push up towards Jeff's Beetle, but he's got to be careful, because Stu Shelton's McLaren is going to be thereabouts. We're already on lap 4 then. Seems to be a very interesting but we'll see exactly how well things go. But we'll see how quick and how things can escalate around here. It's obviously Noah still 2nd place at the moment. Panos, after having that penalty in lobby 1 at Suzuka, now in lobby 2 in that Lamborghini, pushing on quite a bit from Noah's Ferrari, from Tom and of course Jeff. Stu and Lee Fitzy, they're still battling. Lee Fitzy tries to make a move into the hairpin. Is he going to try and make a move into the chicane? Watch out for Tom Gunter in that Jaguar though. However, he seems to be pushing quite a bit. Nick's Honda is almost not far behind now, with Dale also catching up slightly, but seems Lee Fitzy and Stu Shelton and of course Tom Gunter, they're going to be battling for that almighty 5th place at the moment. It seems to be the battle for 5th. The battle for 3rd is also quite an interesting one between the Beetle and the McLaren, but the Lamborghini versus the McLaren versus the Jaguar. Stu Shelton goes one way, Lee Fitzy goes another. This could be very close. Lee Fitzy, oh, looks a break in that McLaren, not the McLaren, the Lamborghini. So he's up into 5th down. Stu Shelton back down into 6th then. It seems Tom Gunter has a bit of a gap between them. He's going to just probably watch out and just see what these two do. But you know, it's fair play. You know, we're almost onto lap 6 then here at Toyko Expressway. We're not pushing on for quite some strategies, but looking at Tom Bennett and of course Jeff, we've gone board with Jeff's Beetle. Looking at what he can do for Tom Bennett. Is he going to try and take Tom Bennett's McLaren? It looks like the McLarens were quite a very interesting car. The Lamborghini though, however, seem to be pushing on. Stu Shelton is still thereabouts. He is trying to push up to Lee Fitzy, but Tom Gunter has got past Stu Shelton's McLaren. Stu's going to try and make a move again, but it looks like we are going to be on course to see how quick things go. But Stu Shelton, however, still there in 7th at the moment. The Nick's still in 8th at the moment, and then obviously Dale in 9th at the moment. But Panos Forganis, the Greek, currently pushing on quite a bit. But Tom Bennett and of course Jeff, they're still battling. It seems it's going to be a very close proximity between the pair of them at the moment, because I'll tell you what, Jeff is going to try and get past Tom. Tom's going to try and defend like mad though. You can just see how quickly it's going to happen. But Tom Bennett, however, pushing on quite a bit. He has Jeff alongside, but Jeff thinks about it. But Lee Fitzy and Tom Gunter are the next two cars watching what's going to happen. Stu Shelton still in 7th, then Nick 8th, and Dale in 9th at the moment. But I'll tell you what, Tom Gunter trying to get away from Tom Bennett rather, trying to catch up to Noah, but he's got to be careful with Jeff. He's behind. What I was trying to refer is Tom Gunter is slightly behind Lee Fitzy at the moment. But I'll tell you what, lap 7 we go then. As I say, this was an absolute fabulous race in Lobby 1, but Lobby 2 so far providing some great entertainment too. I'll tell you what, Tom Bennett has got to be careful. That Beetle looks like it is going to be an agile car. It looks like he's going to try and make a move. Jeff is going to try and make a move for 3rd place. Is he going to get it done before we get to the hairpin? Or is Tom Bennett going to try and launch the attack and say, not in your life sunshine, Tom Gunter? However, at the meantime, gets past Lee Fitzy for 5th place at the moment. And in the meantime, Jeff gets past Tom Bennett. So the two Toms making a bit of memento for them both. But Jeff's still there in 3rd place now. Will he catch up to Noah? Noah is trying to catch up to Panos, but Panos is a very quick established racer. We know what Panos is like. Jeff's still there in 3rd at the moment. Tom Bennett 4th. Tom Gunter 5th. Lee Fitzy 6th, Stu Shelton 7th, Dale and of course Nick are 8th and 9th respectively. On board with Dale, chasing after Nick. You can just see the Honda just ahead, just about. But as I say, it rolls around here. Tom Bennett and Jeff have a bit of a touch into that 2nd hairpin. Is that going to allow Tom Gunter to catch up? It possibly could, if you think about it. But Jeff is still there. Tom Gunter and Tom Bennett, they're both Toms, chasing after Jeff. Lee Fitzy still there, 6th place at the moment. So we're on to lap 8 almost. So it is going to be very close to see how well the cars go for the time being. It is going to be a very close proximity. I'll tell you what, excuse me, it is very interesting to see what the guys can do. Obviously, you know, Noah's still there in 2nd at the moment. Panos still leading the race then. He's actually light years ahead of these guys. He's actually going to be catching up to these, to a lot of them now. It's going to be thereabouts, but it could be very close. We've got Jeff still there, Tom Bennett and Tom Gunter. We'll see if the Jaguar can get past the McLaren. It seems at the moment a bit of a struggle at the moment, because Lee Fitzy's also caught them just a bit. What's happening with Stu Shelton? 7th for the moment. Nick in 8th then at the moment, with Dale in 9th it seems, but Panos still leading away. Jeff is still there in 3rd. Tom Bennett now got past Tom Gunter, but Lee Fitzy, don't count the Welshman out. He's trying to catch these guys up. He is trying to literally get that Lamborghini power to catch up to the likes of the Jaguar and of course the Beetle at the moment. But the Jaguar McLaren versus Beetle versus Lambo. Looks like it's going to be a very close battle. Tom Bennett gets past. Oh, there's a bit. Oh, that was a bit of a hair-raising moment between the two Toms and of course Jeff. But Jeff's lost place to Lee Fitzy. That is not going to go down well in the stewards. But I'll tell you what, Stu Shelton is catching them back up. Dale and Nick are having a good battle. Nick's had to concede 9th place to Dale, or 8th place to Dale should I say, but Nick's fighting back. But we'll see how well Nick does in the Honda, the McDonald's Honda. Reason why I said it was a Mustang is because obviously the McDonald's Mustang in WTSC on a Friday, but it looks like the Honda is going to be very carefully Dale is still there in 8th at the moment, but the battle for 3rd is hotting up between these 4 cars. Lee Fitzy gets there, Tom Gunter, Tom Bennett, and of course Jeff are thereabouts, but is it going to be a very close battle? Lee Fitzy and of course Tom Bennett. Tom Gunter gets a bit squeezed out by Jeff at the moment, but I'll tell you what, this has got to be very careful because they don't want to cause an issue. So Tom Gunter down in 6th then, Tom Bennett 4th now, Lee Fitzy in 3rd then. On lap 9 already, it does not seem like this, but Noah's picked up a penalty. That is a bit unfortunate, so Panos still leads the race then. But Lee Fitzy now 2nd, Tom Bennett in 3rd, Jeff in 4th with Tom Gunter 5th, Noah in 6th now. Stu Shelton, however, hunting him down. The Ferrari seems to be stringing at the moment, it seems, but Stu Shelton has that move. It's going to be very close to see what happens. Lee Fitzy and of course Tom Bennett. Quite a few cars going to pit lane. I think that was actually Jeff jumping into pit lane. So Jeff has jumped into pit lane and Stu Shelton up into 5th now, with the likes of Noah chasing him down, so it's going to be very careful to see exactly what happens. Likes of Dale is now in 7th, Nick in 8th then. So it's going to be a very close battle. Panos Forganis into still in the race lead then, with the likes of the 2 Toms and Lee Fitzy now having a bit of a battle. Gunter versus Bennett versus Lee Fitzy. Could almost be 3 wide. You can smell the air literally between the McLaren, Jaguar and Lamborghini as the McLaren and Ferrari battle still happen. Oh, there's a yellow flag. Tom Bennett. What has happened to Tom Bennett? That was a bit... See exactly what happens. Tom Gunter takes him there, and I think they both just clip each other, which has allowed Tom Bennett to go into the wall. Well, it shouldn't have allowed him to go into the wall there, but it unfortunately did. Tom Gunter, Stu Shelton, Lee Fitzy and Noah. This is got to be careful between these guys. This is going to be a very close fight. Stu Shelton in 2nd, but Noah takes them all to the outside and takes them very much to the cleaners. So Noah is there in 2nd now, Stu Shelton 3rd, Tom Gunter in 4th and Lee Fitzy 5th, Tom Bennett 6th, 5/10 penalty, Dale still there in 7th, Jeff in 8th, followed by Nick in 9th and seems to be having a bit of a issue at the moment. It is going to be very carefully picked out. Panos still there leading the race then. He is having a race of his life. Noah and Stu Shelton almost side by side. Stu get... Oh! The both... Oh, Stu Shelton's gone into the wall. What on earth had happened then? So go on board with Stu. But the look now, I think he has a bit of a moment with Noah. Noah clips him. And he just clips the wall and he spins him around and around like a magic roundabout. But Tom Gunter will go into pit lane then. Noah 2nd, Lee Fitzy back into 3rd then. So Tom Bennett goes into pit lane. Stu Shelton is thereabouts. He's 7th at the moment. But him and Dale go into pit lane then. So that is a very weird moment. But Panos Forganis though at the moment then, the Greek on course to get a very much easy race lead at the moment, with Noah in 2nd, followed by Lee Fitzy. Excuse me. Lee Fitzy now 3rd. Tom Gunter in 4th then, with Jeff in 5th, followed by Tom Bennett in 6th and Nick now in 7th. He's actually now 9th because Dale and of course Stu Shelton just shoot out a pit lane just in front of him. But it looks like he could easily get 7th. What a nice move. Tom Bennett in 6th place at the moment. Jeff still... Oh, Jeff in 5th. Tom is still in 6th at the moment with Nick and Stu Shelton, and of course Dale 7th, 8th and 9th. But it looks like there's a blue flag for some bizarre reason. But Stu Shelton there in 7th, then with Nick in 8th at the moment. It seems to be a very quick battle between the pair of them at the moment, and you know, it's going to be very close to see how well things go. Panos goes into pit lane then. Is that going to be a very interesting moment? But Jeff's got a penalty there. Lee Fitzy and Noah jump into pit lane, so I think Lee Fitzy's also joined them. Tom Gunter is thereabouts, so Tom Gunter, if he plays his cards right, will get into the race lead. But this could be a very interesting race indeed. It seems to be very close, but you can see how dark it is in pit lane. So I think the likes of Panos has got back out into the race lead. Absolutely stellar job from the Lamborghini crew. He is going to be thereabouts, but Tom Gunter, is he going to get second place? Yes, he has. Noah back into 3rd then with Tom Bennett 4th, Lee Fitzy now in 5th place, then Jeff 6th, Stu in, Stu's clipped that wall. This is what I mean by the walls not being forgiven. Nick and Dale having a bit of a side-by-side moment, fair play to them. But let's drop Stu down to 9th at the moment, but Nick in 8th then with Dale. Dale's now 7th. This is getting tasty between Dale and of course Nick at the moment. Nick's still holding on for dear life. Stu Shelton pushing on for that 8th place at the moment. He's trying to catch back up to Nick and of course Dale at the moment, but it looks like Tom Gunter, however, in the Jaguar, still there in 2nd place at the moment with Noah in 3rd, and Panos still leads the race then with a round 23 minutes gone, well 22 minutes gone. But he's going to be thereabouts. We'll see how close it gets, but Tom Bennett in 4th and Lee Fitzy 5th, Jeff in 6th, Nick currently, Stu's had a bit of an issue. I think Stu's got to be careful. I think the McLaren, he gets onto that wall, clips the other wall, almost smashes into Dale in the process. That's a bit unfortunate for Stu Shelton in the McLaren. He seems to have quite a lot of damage there. He's picked up a lot. Dale still in 8th, Nick in 7th at the moment, Jeff in 6th. But I'll tell you what, Tom Gunter and Panos for Ganis may be the ones to watch this time round, but it seems to be very interesting indeed. But what can we see for a lot of interest to see exactly how things go for the rest of the race, but it's going to be thereabouts. But I'll tell you what, Panos is still leading, followed by Tom Gunter at the moment. It's going to be thereabouts, but Noah's still there in 3rd at the moment. He may be pushing for quite a bit now, trying to push that Ferrari to its absolute limits. He can just see Tom Gunter slightly ahead of him at the moment, and so this could be very close to see exactly what's going to happen, you know. But Tom Bennett is under threat from Lee Fitzy, with Jeff trying to catch him up. Nick's still there in 7th with Dale in 8th, then Stu Shelton not enjoying his time here at Tokyo this evening for a very close race, but looking likely we could see Panos Forganis taking that Lamborghini along the way. It seems to be thereabouts. But I'll tell you what, Tom Gunter still there in 2nd, Noah 3rd at the moment as it stands. Tom Bennett 4th, Lee Fitzy 5th, then Jeff in 6th. With Nick still in 7th now. He's now 7th. He's now 8th because Dale's got past him. Excuse me. Dale's got past him again for 7th at the moment. What a move by these two, having a nice battle between each other. That is actually quite good between the pair of them. Obviously, you know, Dale in the Lambo versus Nick in the Honda. Seems the Honda had a bit of the advantage at Suzuka, but Dale unfortunately has picked up a 5-tenth penalty, which is now going to have to unfortunately allow Nick to get past, so he can concede and take that penalty. But you never know, Dale may catch back up to Nick. Very established racer. Panos still leading the race then from Tom Gunter and Noah. Tom Bennett and of course Lee Fitzy, they're still trying to catch each other up. Jeff is still there in 6th place at the moment, with Nick in 7th at the moment. He's still got Dale chasing him slightly. It is going to get thereabouts. We'll see how quick they get on. It is going to be very close to see exactly how things go. But I'll tell you what, Nick has got to be careful he doesn't want to clip the wall either. Dale's still chasing after him. Stu Shelton still 9th then. But are we going to get a battle for 2nd and 3rd between Tom Gunter and Noah? At the moment it doesn't look like it. Looks like Noah is slightly struggling with that Ferrari at the moment. Tom Bennett still thereabouts. Is he going to try and push on for what could be a interesting 4th place at the moment? Lee Fitzy also there, with Jeff trying to catch up. Nick's still there in 7th, but Dale's now hot on his heels. This could be very careful. We'll see exactly what is going to happen. We're on board with Dale going into the hairpin. Oh, what a fantastic move. Nick can't do anything about that unless he jumps into the chicane and thinks, right, plan the line. But fair play, these two have had actually a fantastic battle so far. So good. But it's going to be very carefully picked out. Panos is still leading from Tom Gunter and Noah at the moment. Noah is getting slightly closer and closer to the Jaguar. He is getting there very quickly. It will be very interesting to see how well he does. But Noah is there. He's trying to push up to Tom Gunter. Tom Gunter's Martini Jaguar at the moment, pushing on for quite some time, with Tom Bennett 4th at the moment. Lee Fitzy still 5th. Jeff in 6th then. Dale still 7th, with Nick close behind. Nick's clipped the walls slightly, but I'll tell you what, these two, proper decent battle. Hats off to the pair of them. And I'll tell you what, with half an hour also almost to go, with 30 minutes almost on the clock, 30 minutes left, it could be a nail-biting finish. But I'll tell you what, Nick has got that Honda dialed up. And I'll tell you what, oh, Dale clips the wall. Oh, that is now unfortunate. Dale is going to be kicking himself with that. But I'll tell you what, fair play, he's not giving up. Stu Shelton, however, he's a bit far back in that McLaren at the moment, it seems. Panos is still there. Tom Gunter and Noah is now caught up to Tom Gunter. We're on board with Noah in the Ferrari then. Under the tunnel we go. This is absolutely fantastic stuff. Noah seems to be enjoying his racing. I'll tell you what, it is going to be very carefully picked out this evening here at Tokyo. He has obviously put amends from hopefully last week at Suzuka for crossing the white line out of pit lane. But it will be very carefully, hopefully learnt from that mistake. He's chasing down Tom Gunter as best as he can. Tom Gunter, however, holding on for dear life into that Jaguar, with Panos Forganis still leading the race then. Tom Bennett still getting away from Lee Fitzy at the moment. Jeff's still trying to be thereabouts. He's still got that Beetle. Nick's still there in 7th rather. with Dale 8th and of course Stu Shelton 9th at the moment. But I'll tell you what, it is getting closer and closer for a battle for second between Noah and of course Tom Gunter. This could be very close to see how well they go. This is going to be really close between the pair of them now. You can see the Ferrari getting closer to that Jaguar. The Jaguar is going to have to he can't concede at the moment, but Noah excuse me, Noah trying to take Tom Gunter. Oh, I thought there was going to be a bit of contact between the pair of them, but I'll tell you what, fair play. 31 minutes on the clock then. It is going to be very close between the pair of them. Noah is going to be thereabouts. Is Tom Gunter going to try and take second place from Tom this time round? Is it going to be able to? But this is where the racing is phenomenal. It is going to be really close between Noah and of course Tom Gunter. Tom Gunter's Jaguar is still there, just about. Noah has got his, I think I know where he's going to pitch that move. He's going to pitch that move into the hairpin. I'll tell you what, it is going to be picked. It is just going to be a very close battle. Noah's on that inside for the hairpin. Bit of paint swapping between the pair of them, but Tom Gunter is the outcome. And literally gets thereabouts. He is going to be holding on for dear life. We'll see what's happening further back in a moment or two, but Noah is going to be thereabouts. Tom Gunter is pushing away from Noah at the moment. Noah's trying to say, come on mate, don't hold me up too much. But this is absolutely fantastic stuff between the pair of them. Noah has got to try and get Tom this time round. He is thereabouts. He is lining up a move. He is lining up a move. Is he going to do it? He has to tuck back in because that corner is not going to be forgiving. He's got to be careful. He may plan it down into the hairpin this time round. That is the first hairpin, but we shall see. He's going to be thereabouts. Is he going to be able to do it? He looks like it. He looks like it. Tom Gunter is probably going to concede this time round. Noah! Oh my goodness, what a stellar move. Absolutely top class. Into second place then. Tom Gunter still third then. Tom Bennett still fourth with Lee Fitz's Lamborghini. The Lambos and McLarens at the moment seem to be thereabouts, but it seems the Ferrari is also an equally matched car with the Jaguar. But let's see. Jeff's still trying to catch up to these two. Nick and Dale are back nose to tail with each other going into the hairpin. Is Dale going to be able to catch Nick and get that 7th place back? Nick runs a bit wide, but I don't think so. Dale is still there, but I'll tell you this is absolutely unstoppable. Oh, Dale's had a penalty. Oh, that is not going to that's cost him a lot of ground now. Stu Shelton still 9th. Panos Forganis, the Greek, he is absolutely unstoppable at the moment. Leading the race, he has led pretty much every lap. The Lamborghini is a fantastic car. I'll tell you what, he is on to lap 18 at the moment. 43 minutes have been completed. But this is absolutely unreal. Noah is still there. Noah is trying to push away from Tom Gunter. Tom Bennett, however, has a bit of a breathing space from Lee Fitzy now, because the likes of Jeff and of course Lee Fitzy, they're having a bit of a battle now. The Lamborghini versus the Beetle. The Beetle! Oh, this is going to get closer, and I'll tell you what, Jeff is going to try and get 5th place from Lee Fitzy. Oh, he does it with precision. He can't get a compass through that. But I'll tell you what, Lee Fitzy is back on the attack. Lee Fitzy is back on the attack. The Lamborghini versus the Beetle. This is absolutely top class. Lee Fitzy gets past the Beetle yet again, but I'll tell you what, this is absolutely unreal between Jeff and of course Lee at the moment. Nick's still there in 7th then. Dale in 8th place then. Stu Shelton 9th. Panos is still there, Noah still in second, Tom Gunter still in third at the moment, Tom Bennett fourth, Lee Fitzy now and Jeff still fifth and sixth. This is absolutely unreal. Jeff is going to pit this time round. You can just see that fuel gauge almost out of fuel there with around 35.5 minutes left. You know, it's just thereabouts. We're not halfway mark now, but I tell you what, Lee Fitzy is going to be pushing on. Jeff goes into pit lane then, so that's going to probably allow Nick, if Nick can catch up into sixth place at the moment. Tom Gunter chasing after Noah. Noah knows exactly what's going to happen because Tom Gunter is going to be pushing, but I tell you what, Noah pushes quite a bit and he'll push that gap bit too far from Panos Forganis though, so he's not going to be able to get a race lead unless something happens to Panos. That's exactly what could easily find out what we're going to do, but Dale goes into pit lane 2, so that's allowed the likes of Jeff and of course well, no, not Jeff, Nick and of course Stu Shelton to get away. So Noah is slightly catching up to Panos, or was that, no, it was Tom Gunter's Jaguar, I do apologise. So it's going to be very close to see exactly what's going to happen, but it is going to be thereabouts. It will be fantastic to see exactly what's going to happen, but I think Noah is going to try and push on for quite a bit to see exactly what is going to happen. Panos still leads the race then, so Noah's going to try and push on. Lee Fitzy is catching up to Tom Bennett in the meantime, so the Lamborghini versus the McLaren battle still going on. It could be very interesting though, because if you have a look exactly what's going to happen, Noah is still there in second, Tom Gunter catching him slightly, with Tom Bennett still there in fourth at the moment with Lee Fitzy's Lamborghini, but Tom Bennett goes into pit lane then. You can just see exactly what's going to happen. We've got around probably around 18 minutes left maybe, or 21 minutes rather, but it could be very close to see exactly what's going to happen. It is going to be thereabouts. Noah's still there in second. It is going to be mentally crazy for the last couple of spots on the podium, but we will be on course to see exactly what's going to happen. But it will be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen. But we'll see how close things go for obviously the likes of Noah, followed by Tom Gunter. It looks like Tom Gunter will be pitting this time round though, so we'll see exactly what is going to happen very soon. But it could be very close to see exactly how things go for the rest of the race. But it looks like we are around 19 minutes to go in this race, just about. But you know, Panos goes into pit lane then. Is Noah going to go into pit lane, or is Tom Gunter going to go thereabouts as well? Lee Fitzy in fourth then, Nick in fifth now. Stu Shelton will have to pit. Tom Bennett and of course Jeff, they're having a bit of a nice battle, and Dale in ninth place at the moment. But Noah takes the race lead then. Tom Gunter and Panos go into pit lane. That's allowed Lee Fitzy to catch into the likes of second place, but this could be very close. But we're around then 20 minutes left on the clock. This could be very close to see exactly what's going to happen, or should I say it's going to be very close to see exactly how close it's going to get. But Nick's into fourth then. He's now in fifth because Tom Gunter came out, but then Nick has to take Tom Gunter, but I think Nick's going to pit this time round. Stu Shelton goes into pit lane. Tom Bennett sixth, Jeff in seventh, Stu thereabouts. Now that's going to probably allow Dale could get there into 8th place, it depends. Noah is going to be thereabouts, he's still leading the race then. Lee Fitzy, however, doing exactly the same. Panos for Ganis, the Greek, going to try and catch them up. I think it's roundabout there with a very close proximity battle between the pair of them. We'll see exactly what's going to happen. Noah still there in first place at the moment. Lee Fitzy in second then. Panos in third with Nick in fourth at the moment. He will be pitting this time round, so he will drop a place or two depending on how quick the other guys catch up to him. But Tom Gunter there in fourth at the moment. Nicely done into the hairpin. But it seems that Nick is going to have to try and put the hammer to the floor when he completes his stop. Tom Bennett 6th at the moment. Jeff in 7th. Dale in 8th with Stu Shelton 9th at the moment. But Noah seems to be in control of this race. He seems to be being an absolute world-class racer at the moment to take the race lead. But is it going to happen anytime soon? Nick is going to be going into pit lane, so that's going to allow Tom Gunter to have a bit of breathing space. Lee Fitzy 2nd place at the moment. We know how Lee Fitzy likes to push the car to its paces, but we're around maybe around 18 minutes left of the race, it seems. But Nick goes into pit lane then, so he will be pushed on quite a bit now. Panos in the 3rd then, Tom Bennett 5th rather, Jeff in 6th then, Stu Shelton, yeah, and Nick's in pit lane, so Stu maybe 8th, Dale maybe 9th, maybe 8th after. It depends on how quick Nick gets there. That fuel's going in very rapidly in that Honda, so it could be Nick could be out way before. Yes, he's out ahead of Stu Shelton. Stu Shelton already into the hairpin, and Dale is still there in 9th at the moment, but Noah still leading the race there. We are not far away from the checkered flag here at Tokyo then, so it's going to be thereabouts. We could easily see what is going to happen, but Noah is going to be thereabouts. We'll see how quick he's going to go. Is he going to go into pit lane? Lee Fitzy, however, he is going to have to pit. He's going to have to pit. We know how he likes to push that car to the ragged edge, but I have a feeling the likes of... Oh, Noah stays out. Noah stays out. That's going to be interesting. Noah stays out. Lee Fitzy, however, is he going to go into pit lane? Yes, he does. So that will allow Panos for Ganis to retake 2nd place. That could easily allow Panos to take the race lead, back into the race lead, if he if Noah has to pit. Yes, Noah is going to have to pit this time round. Around maybe a couple of minutes to go, Noah will be pitting this time round. Panos will push on. Tom Gunter 3rd at the moment. Lee Fitzy still there in pit lane. Tom Bennett doing a stellar job, will be 4th, but he's not, because Lee Fitzy, there's almost a bit of contact between Tom Bennett and of course Lee Fitzy when Lee Fitzy was coming out of pit lane. Jeff in 6th then, Nick 7th, Stu Shelton in 8th with Dale in 9th. Then Dale's slightly getting into the groove, but he will be maybe seeing exactly how well things go for next time out at Willow Springs. But it looks like Noah's going to be pitting this time around, which will allow Panos is a bit far back at the moment. He's actually going into the first hairpin at the moment. Same with Tom Gunter. Tom Bennett 4th with Lee Fitzy in 5th then. Jeff in 6th with Nick in 7th. Stu Shelton in 8th, and with Dale in 9th. It could be thereabouts, but we'll see exactly if Noah picks up any pace to see what is going to happen. Panos is almost at the second hairpin, so Panos could get into the race lead just, but Noah is in pit lane, so it could be that Panos locks up a brake slightly, but Noah is in his pit stop. He's in his pit base, so he's lost the race lead to Panos for Ganis. It looks like Tom Gunter will be thereabouts. We'll see exactly how things go, but Noah is still there. Noah is going to come out into second place. He's got to be careful he doesn't cross the lines this time round, but he's thereabouts. Tom Gunter in third, then with Tom Bennett fourth, with Lee Fitzy fifth at the moment. Seems to be a very close battle. So we've got around 14 minutes left of this race. So we'll see exactly what is going to happen with the likes of Nick still in 7th at the moment. Stu Shelton 8th, with Dale still there in 9th at the moment, obviously pushing that Lamborghini to what he wants at the moment. It seems Panos is going to be pushing on. He's got around 13 minutes left of this race. Noah still there at the moment in second place. Could be a very interesting turn of events, because after Suzuka he was obviously penalised for crossing the white lines on exit of pit lane, so it could be thereabouts now to see exactly what he's going to do. Still purple in that sector. There's not really close battles apart from this one between Tom Bennett and of course Lee Fitzy. As Lee Fitzy gets alongside the McLaren, is he going to be able to do it? Yes he is, but Tom Bennett tries to switch back. Unfortunately that is not going to happen. He's going to try and push on for dear life to try and get past Lee Fitzy, but time is slowly but surely running out for these guys. It is going to be a very close battle for 4th place at the moment. It looks like Lee Fitzy's getting a bit of a help up the hill there, but Nick's still in 7th then. Stu Shelton with that 5-10 penalty in 8th, and Dale in around 9th place at the moment, but Tom Bennett chasing after Lee Fitzy. I don't know whether Tom's going to be able to catch up to Lee as of yet, but we'll see how well it's going to go. But it could be, Tom Bennett's got a 1.4 second penalty there. That is going to hamper him, and that will go against him because he crossed the line, and when he had that penalty that will go against him if he's not careful. So we've got around then 9 minutes left of this race. It is going to be, well, when I say 9 minutes I mean 11 minutes of this race. It is going to be a very carefully picked race win for Panos. It could be, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen for the Lamborghini driver. It could be on course for a victory, and Noah is there. He's got a 1:55.9 fastest lap at the moment. He's going fastest. He's going faster. Tom Bennett, however, got rid of his penalty now, but Jeff Speetle with around coming up to 10 minutes left of the race. It's thereabouts, but is that going to be a bit of alarm bells there for the Beetle driver? Almost out of fuel. So So we'll see exactly what's going to happen. Panos with around 10 minutes to go then in this race seems to be pushing on now after a bit of a mistake at Suzaka. Noah's coming through to get onto lap 26. He's gone fastest again with a 1:55.7. So he's going very quick. Tom Bennett there will be ahead. Nick is probably going to come out in 6th place because Jeff is in pit lane, so he will be there in 6th place at the moment. Stu Shelton will be 7th as Dale clips the wall, unfortunately, but Panos Forganis then, with around 9 minutes left of this race, he is going to be on course to try and catch up to these guys. He will be, well, when I say catch up, he will be winning the race. He is going to be thereabouts, but excuse me, but it'll be very interesting to see what is going to happen. But we do have quite some interesting moments in the race. It is going to be thereabouts, but Panos is still leading from, of course, Noah and, of course, Tom Gunter. He's going to be thereabouts, but it could be very close to see exactly what is going to happen for this time round. But Tom Gunter in 3rd then. It's going to be very interesting to see exactly what is going to happen. But, Lee Fitzy still in 4th then, Tom Bennett still 5th, Nick's now 6th, so oh, the Honda driver just drifts it round that corner there, nicely done. Stu Shelton and of course Jeff are having a bit of a battle, so Jeff's Beetle, go on board with Jeff's Beetle, chasing down Stu Shelton for that 7th place for the time being. See how quick that Beetle goes. It is a very nice car indeed. I never raced it, but seems to be a very interesting car indeed. So he gets 7th from Stu Shelton, but Stu almost gets back into 7th because Jeff gets a bit crossed up out of that hairpin. But we are around then 7 minutes left of the race. It is going to be very close and personal, but I'll tell you what, it has been a very interesting race here at Tokyo for round number 2 of the MMCCC Championship for Eldar Racing. It is going to be a very interesting race at Willow Springs next week, I must admit, but we'll see how well they go. Obviously Noah is still behind Panos. Panos is probably going to go on to what will be a handful of laps left, but we'll see how well he's going to go. So Panos is still there for 1st place at the moment. Noah 2nd, Tom Gunter 3rd at the moment with Lee Fitzy 4th, Tom Bennett 5th, Nick still in 6th at the moment, Jeff in around now 7th, Stu Shelton 8th, and of course Dale in 9th at the moment. Fair play to Dale, not giving up. As I say, he's a well established racer in Eldar Sim. He is a likeable character as well. So it is going to be very close. We'll see exactly what's going to happen with around 4.5 minutes left until the checker flag does drop here at Tokyo. But Panos Forganis then, the Clio Cup champion, the Hoppers Motorsport Vlogs Clio Cup champion, when that was on a Friday, and then obviously also the Porsche Cayman champion, I believe, the season after that. So he seems to be knowing his racecraft very well, does the Greek. Noah second, Tom Gunter third at the moment, and then of course Lee Fitzy fourth at the moment, Tom Bennett fifth. Nick's still sixth at the moment, so that's a good showing for Nick, with around 5 minutes on the clock ticking by. So it seems the race is well and truly going to be interesting between quite a lot of the guys this time round. But Jeff's still there in seventh at the moment, Stu Shelton eighth. Still trying to chase after Jeff, should I say. But Jeff is still there in seventh. Dale in the ninth then, with Panos Forganis about to what could be start the roughly, or I could say the penultimate lap. It could be very interesting, depends on how quick he goes. Noah is still there with that 155.7, so it's fastest lap of the race at the moment, but it's going to be very close, around 4 minutes left then of the race, so it's going to be very close to see how good Noah can be. But I think Panos will have this race sewn up, unfortunately, with Tom Gunter in third, then Lee Fitzy in fourth, with Tom Bennett in fifth then. Nick still there in sixth at the moment. Fair play, he's not put foot wrong in the McDonald's Honda for the time being. Jeff in seventh then, Stu Shelton in eighth, with Dale in ninth at the moment. But it's going to be very close to see. We'll see how well Panos will do. But Panos is thereabouts. He may start the penultimate lap this time round though. There's a yellow flag there. I think Dale's had a bit of an issue there, going out of the hairpin. I think he's decided to go into pit lane. But it could be very close to see how well things go for Panos. He's about to probably go on the final lap this time round, so it looks like it is going to be the final lap for Panos Forganis with the Lamborghini. Noah's still there in second at the moment, with Tom Gunter third, with of course Lee Fitzy fourth, Tom Bennett fifth. Nick's still there in sixth at the moment, getting chased by Jeff at the moment. Jeff's almost out of fuel again in that Beetle. Stu Shelton eighth, with Dale in ninth. I think Dale's actually just put a bit of more fuel in. He's just letting Lee Fitzy go. Fair play to him. He's also going to probably allow Tom Bennett to go as well. Fair play. Fair play. But it looks like Panos Forganis then will be on the final lap. It will probably be most likely be the final lap, because it is looking likely that with given the time limit, he will be onto the final lap and probably will take another. Will take a famous Eldar racing victory. But we'll see exactly how he goes. Noah in second, with Tom Gunter in third then. Lee Fitzy in fourth, followed by Tom Bennett in fifth, with Nick still in sixth, with of course Jeff in seventh. So we could be on course. Panos could actually technically start another lap, but it all depends on obviously the race timer, so it could be very close. He may be able to take another lap, but as I say, it all depends on how quick he puts that Lamborghini through its paces, should I say. But not really much battles galore now, unfortunately, because we're getting towards the end of the race. But Panos Forganis then, the Greek, he may certainly start another lap. Yeah, it looks like he's going to start the last lap. I do apologise, ladies and gents, but unless he crosses the line now, he goes on to the final lap. But unfortunately, Noah will be the first one to finish then. So Panos Forganis will be the one to finish second. Noah rather, not Panos. I do apologise. Tom Gunter third then. With around Lee Fitzley fourth, it looks like Tom Bennett will be fifth. Nick will be sixth roughly, unless he catches up to Jeff. Or unless Jeff catches him up, shall I say. I do apologise about that. But Panos will be the first one then to do an extra lap. It's not the first time, because Casper Brockner was also the same on Monday for Lobby 1. Tom Bennett will come fifth then. Dale is unfortunately a lap down in ninth. Unfortunately for Dale, he's thereabouts. Nick will finish sixth then, after a bit of a topsy-turvy sort of... He had good battles with Dale, don't get me wrong, but he will take sixth place then, with of course Jeff in, of course, 7th place. Stu Shelton in 8th place then, with Panos Forganis about to take the checkered flag with the Lamborghini Huracan, and it will be a very close battle to see what he can do, whether he goes back up into the top lobby within Eldar Sim. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But fair play to Panos Forganis for taking a lights to flag victory. And yes, that is concluding Lobby 2 action for the MMCCC Racing Championship for Eldar Sim Racing. I will be back Friday for the sixth round of the WTSC at Sardegna for the next conclusion of what's going to happen in the championship. Is Brian Moncani going to be able to be part of the grid, or is he going to be missing, or is Noah going to take that championship fight with around 9 races to go in the championship? It is going to be an absolute fantastic one. I cannot wait to see what happens. It is proudly sponsored by Shell Lorman Motorsport. Until then, guys, thank you for tuning in this afternoon. I have been Hoppers for Eldar Sim Racing, and I'll tell you what, it has been an absolute pleasure to do the relives for the Lobby 2 of MMCCC, and I'll tell you what, it is going to be great going into Willow Springs next Monday. Join the action live and exclusive for Lobby 1 around 7:15 UK time on Monday evening, and you will get to hear this friendly voice as per usual. Until then, guys, take care, enjoy the rest of the week, and tune in Friday, because Friday is going to be absolutely mega. Until then, guys, take care. Ta-ra.